So I'm told in Britain that you can't just talk to strangers on the train. It's more polite to pretend they don't exist.
Yeah. People suck, man. You don't want to talk to them. They don't want to speak to you. Just we're all in our own little world. Fuck them.
Well, sometimes we don't want to talk to you either.
Tough shit. Deal with it.
I got a piece of like caramel candy stuck in the bottom of my damn coffee. And when I try to lift it up, I'm like gonna spew coffee all over the desk. Motherfucker. All right. Sorry.
Incredible. And welcome to Two Sides of the Pond, the podcast where Dwayne apparently is fighting for his life with some caramel cocky coffee, whatever it is. Yeah. I don't know what you're piss-assing around with that you've been doing for the past 20 minutes. Is it lumpy?
What it is one of those spoons that have it mocha mint. It's from the new Wicked line for the new movie.
Mocha mint, so coffee mint?
Yes. So chocolate mint. Mocha mint.
Oh,
so chocolate mint with little gold edible glitter in it. And you're supposed
gold edible glitter.
Yes. And you're supposed to put it in your hot beverage, your coffee specifically for this one, and it melts into your hot coffee. Well, it fell off the spoon or the stick when it started to melt, and now it's just a lump of stuff on the bottom of my mug that's just stuck there that every time I try to move it, it gets
Have you
stuck.
tried? So, serious question. Have you tried having a normal cup of coffee?
A normal cup of coffee?
A normal cup of coffee.
Well, you don't drink coffee, so what do you think normal is in that respect?
One without bits of shit in it, obviously.
I guess. I just wanted to try this new thing because, there's the new Wicked movie is coming out in just on either the 21st or the 22nd of November. And
so it's probably out then by the time.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, this will be out. However, we are talking about etiquette. And when it comes to etiquette, I would like to say that there is a Brit out there who completely backpedaled and ate shit about her etiquette online.
There is.
Right?
There is. Yes. So speaking of Wicked, it was quite a wicked turn of events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently Ariba, I don't even know her last name, Jesus, but her name is Ariba, right? And there was a fan-based picture that they took of the movie poster, and they altered it to look more like the Broadway musical poster,
which is a classic.
Yes.
Poster.
Oh, absolutely. They just celebrated 21. They just celebrated on Broadway 21 years not too long ago in New York City. So it was more like an homage, showing them respect, and she shit all over it, and it made news headlines. Every influencer talked about it. Drama, because she said that you are silencing my blackness. Basically is what it came down to.
She said it was the most racist thing she has ever seen, which is
by covering her eyes.
Yeah, so she must have lived
over her, though, mind you.
Exactly. She must have lived a very, very sheltered life if she thinks that is the most interesting thing, or not interesting, but most racist thing that's ever happened.
So I think she needs to be
more
at
that point.
Well, I think she needs to be more British at that point, and just keep your mouth shut. Like, that's the difference when it comes to etiquette, when it comes to Brits versus Yanks, right? So we feel the need. Yeah, I know. You are rubbing off on me so hard. Like, so the thing is, we feel the need to fill the silence. We get on an elevator or a lift, as you'll call it, and there's someone else. And there is that innate human need to interact and say, oh, how's the weather? Good day? And the other person, whether they care or not, feels obligated to say something, some mundane piece of horse shit like, oh, good, how are you? No one cares. Nobody actually cares if you're okay or not, especially if you don't know the person. It's right up there with all the memes out there and the things that have happened where you're standing at a urinal and you talk to the guy next to you in the urinal.
Have you ever done that? When would you say urinal?
Urinal?
Urinal.
No. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, urinal.
Oh. Well, that just sounds more like...
Urinal.
Well, that sounds more
urinal
like...
sounds like you're constipated and need to use the fucking toilet, to be honest. Unless you want to shit in the urinal.
No. The urinal is... the way you say it, it makes it sound like a rhinoceros, but they do have a big...
No. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, urinal.
But, so, we have this need to be polite, whether we want to or not. However, I have noticed people like you either are one of two ways. You don't say anything, like, no need. There is no need. Silence is okay. Or I will tell you exactly without a filter, without politeness at all. I'm going to tell you how it is. You use it, you can tell in your vocabulary. Like, instead of saying farting, you go right to shit. have you have not said fart once. You have farted 20 times, okay, in my presence. On this podcast, you've done it even. And yet you won't say fart. You go right to shit.
I shit myself. I need to come out.
Which means something totally different here.
It means exactly what I'm saying. How do you know there's no gravy running down my leg? Do you want to check?
No.
Change my diaper.
No. You're not that young or you're not that old. Either way, we're not going there.
No,
not
I'm sorry,
going there.
When you've had your first shot in your life, doesn't matter what age you are, at that point you can class yourself as old. Okay. And it happened in a 1-to-1 with someone I hired.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's serious. Yeah, that's the first time. Yeah. There's nothing much more to say other than so.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes now.
I will share the story because it is fucking incredible. So
Save it for the Patreon. Save it for the Patreon because I have one for the Patreon right after this. Have
you shot yourself too?
At work?
Okay, there's stories there.
Yeah.
There's stories there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well...
I promise I will tell the story.
Right.
Hand to Bible after this on the Patreon after.
Bible, you Bible basher.
Nah, well, what? Basher?
Well, what? Yes, but yes, subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear the stories of when we shit. Yeah, we're getting deep. Getting personal and deep. Oh my God.
We get really personal on our Patreon. Have you noticed? Like, it gets kind of serious at times. Like,
it does. For those that don't know, after every single episode, we have a debriefing session, which continues straight on, where we sort of get a bit more real with each other, a bit more personal around stuff that we don't share. We don't share publicly because obviously it's on our Patreon, but we don't share freely. There we go. We, you've got some stuff that is privileged information. So come and join us over there to hear that and get more involved with the conversations and some of the shenanigans that.
Yeah, because apparently I can be bought. So anyway,
is that in relation to you shitting yourself as well? Did someone pay you to do this?
You'll have to wait.
You have to tune in. I'm curious now.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Anyway, what are we talking about? Social etiquette. We're talking
about social etiquette.
That's it. Yes.
Do you hold? All right. So I know that. Would you hold the door open for somebody that you're not with? The person behind you. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's part of social etiquette. I just think it's all about the small talk, or you're not polite. In the traditional sense of what polite is in America.
So if I didn't start a conversation with you in public, not knowing who you were, would you think that person wasn't all that polite?
If there was an opportunity for you to, yes.
An opportunity. So it's just stuck in an elevator.
Well, not stuck, but yeah, in the elevator going up flights.
Going up.
Yeah.
And if I didn't say anything, if I just stood there minding my own business, you'd think,
what a bag of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so strange.
That's the automatic thought that pops in my head.
Because I find it awkward to start a conversation with people that I don't know. I find that quite a rude thing to do because it's strange.
Didn't stop you with me though, but okay.
But it's different circumstances. You know, when you're paid to talk and entertain, it's a bit different. Whereas when someone in an elevator, I don't know, they might have a fucking minigun up their ass. You know, especially in America.
You and the guns in America.
It's not me and the guns in America. It's a you problem. Don't blame me. I'm just reflecting on what I see in front of me. You know.
How many guns have you seen in America that were not carried by professional cops or...
Well, I wouldn't class them as professionals, to be honest. Every fucking cop gets a gun. I don't think they're trained to use it. They're trained to load it and then away they go. I wouldn't quite class that as trained or professional, in all honesty. You know, there's a big difference.
Okay.
You know, like people in the army that have gone through proper training, you know, I would class them as professionals.
But how many people in America, and you've spent a decent amount of time in America, you've traveled across the United States, right?
Yes.
How often do you actually see a civilian with a gun?
I suppose it's only been once then. In terms of a civilian, it's been once.
Okay. So, I mean, you keep talking about it like every trip.
Yeah, but let's be honest. If I was to open my mouth more, do you think the chance of me getting shot would stay the same or increase?
I think the chance of you seeing a gun more often is up there. But yeah, someone would show you their pistol. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also etiquette. So you would hold the door open for somebody.
I always look.
It's just
I always
a small talk piece.
Yeah, I mean, I would respond if someone started a conversation with me. I'd respond. I still feel a bit awkward. I had it when I was in New York, and again, you know, the area I was staying in New York felt very sort of ghetto and dangerous. It didn't feel safe. So I was just interested. I was in the hotel at the time. I was going from the reception area or the lobby or whatever. I think I was getting a snack or something from the little mini shop you have in hotels out there, to my room. And all I was interested in is going to the room, locking the door, taking a shit, shock, and then just hiding out forever. Or maybe actually going up with food. I may have picked up an Uber Eats. I was doing something, and then someone was
in shit related. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Because once you shit, you need to refill the fucking container and then go again. You know, it's part of the process. This is getting really, really, you know, wow. It's going there. It is going there. People are going to start thinking weird things about me, which are all true. You know, but yeah. So, but someone started a conversation with me. Someone was chatting to me. I can't remember what he was saying. Again, I wasn't really, I didn't give a shit. But he said something or other and blah blah blah. But it just feels weird. It just feels like, you know, why are you chatting to me? You know, something you're wanting. Are you trying to sort of lure me into, you know,
what do you
sort
want
of weird
from
situation?
Me?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
Why are you engaging in conversation with me? You're making me feel uncomfortable. But I was pleasant as I could be, and I said, you know, I said have a good night, you know, blah 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 blah, and off I went to my room, and it was done. But it's strange.
I think you'd be pretty decent with small talk to a degree. However, having conversations with you is sometimes like pulling teeth. I will say, I get the yeah from you where I'm like sending you 5 texts in a row before I'm getting anything other than, yeah, good.
Yeah, it's just true. But sometimes I'm getting inundated with people messaging. I could be in meetings as well. I'm quite often in meetings talking to people and whatnot. Or I'm working on stuff, you know, I'm doing things. So I can't always spend loads of time writing essays as a response. So I make it short and sweet so that I am still responding and not ignoring. But yes, it's hard. It's hard to keep up when everyone's wanting a piece of your attention throughout the day.
Have you ever been accused of being rude? To your face.
Yeah, I
You have.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about exes. I'm not talking about like just family members. I'm talking about regular everyday people like me.
Yeah, I can think of some. So I was a bit of a. There are moments in my childhood where I was a bit of an ass. I think it's quite funny now, to be honest. But I was in a shop randomly, and some fucking baby making massive bitch that's just shat out like 6 kids just sort of nudged into me with a pram. And she's like, and she went, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I just instantly, I think it went, "You will be," like that, just without thinking at all. But
Wow.
she heard me, but she turned from this pleasant person into an absolute nasty bitch, like a total opposite personality. I was like, "Hey, there's the real you. There's the real person underneath this front cover." You know,
and that is very important about the whole being polite and social etiquette piece of it all. I have found that Brits are not nice for the sake of being nice. They are nice because they mean it and they want to be, not just because they're in public, not just because this person didn't do anything wrong with me. I'm just going to be nice to them. It's they talk to you because they have something to say. They respond to you in the way they really want to say it, and I love that about your people. Your tribe. Yeah. Like a lot of British actors are like that behind the scenes. I could tell you firsthand knowledge that they have the sarcastic, witty sense of humor that I have. However, they're not being funny, they're being serious. And you just go with it. You roll with that.
So how nice or not would you say I am then?
Well,
I think hard about this. I think that gives the answer, really.
I do, because I know you. I really do feel that I do know you, and I know deep down what a nice, caring, giving, big-hearted person you are.
It's all a lie.
And that's what you want people to think. You have this. You are an M&M. You are the M&M I hold in my hands before I eat them. You know, inside is warm and gushy and sweet, and on the outside, you're still a crunchy asshole.
You some sort of retard. Why are you holding M&Ms?
What? You've never done that?
Not so it melts in your fucking out. What are you doing? Just
well, that's the idea of M&Ms. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand. So the idea, if you hold M&Ms in your hand for like a good 30 seconds, the coating on the outside does not melt. The inside is warm, and it's not hard. It's warm and gooey on the inside. Not like warm, but like they're melted on the inside, and the outside still has that crunchy coating.
Gooey. I've never tried that. I did not know that was a thing. I did read something recently, actually, though, about the fact that maybe it was a joke. I don't know if maybe it was a space joke. Maybe they were sort of saying, "I'll wrap the space shuttle in M&Ms or some shit because it won't overheat or whatever." I don't know. I can't remember if that was the thing, but yeah, I don't know. I never realized that. I'm gonna think if I try to walk around with a ham, a fistful of M&Ms like some sort of spastic, and then see if it's good to eat afterwards. Cool. Anyway, carry on. You were saying I'm like an M&M, apparently.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. So, no, yeah, you are a nice person. But you have to get to that nice person. You're not going to just offer up. You know what I mean?
So, based on when you first met me,
yes,
to what you know now,
yeah,
do you think I appeared nicer back then or nicer now? Which way has it gone?
Nicer back then.
And why is that? What have you realized since?
No, because I'm too polite.
Oh yeah, I don't think you are.
Yeah. No, I want to say that you wanted to show me a certain side of yourself out in public when we met, and you had no reason to be completely real with me. I mean, we joke on this podcast a lot that you're more American sometimes than British. And I think, you chewed my ear off the first time we met. And then the second time we hung out, and the third time we hung out, you were like glued right next to me and chewed my ear off, and you were engaging, and now I've seen different sides of you. I've seen the business side of you. Yeah. That's the best one right there.
The rear. Yeah, I'm walking away.
I've seen the business side of you. I've seen the more serious, the more sensitive side of you. And I've seen the engaging, loving side of you. So because I know that all those things truly do exist in you, like, yeah, all I knew about was the engaging, nice side that you wanted to show, because you didn't have a reason to be mean to me then, like you do now.
Yes,
but
it's grown so fast.
So, ironically enough, I was hanging out with a British or an English entertainer, we'll say, and we were hanging out for the day together. And at one point, I had to go on my phone to change something for them, a reservation that they had made. Think of me kind of like your personal assistant, where they had lunch at a certain time in a certain restaurant. They wanted to change the time. And so I was walking behind them, and we were watching a show while it was happening. I was like 2 rows behind him. And there I am on my phone, just changing the reservation. And by the end of the show, I was done. My phone was in my pocket, and we were leaving. And as we were walking away, they said, "Oh, well, I bet," he asked his wife, "Did you enjoy what we just did?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I bet Dwayne was, bored to tears because he must have seen it so many times because, he was on his phone the whole time." Like, he called my ass out. And I was mortified. I sat there thinking, fuck, I'm going to lose this client. What the hell am I going to do? And it wasn't until about 20 minutes later that I went to his wife and I pulled her aside and I said, "I am so sorry. Like, I was changing dinner reservations for you guys. Like, that's all I was doing. I didn't think he saw me." She goes, "When he jokes like that with you, it means he likes you. It's okay. It don't take that stuff personally." And that's happened with other actors that I've hung out with from the UK. So they either have that snarky, sarcastic personality, and it's not always a bad thing when they don't talk to you. Mm. If they're from the UK and they don't talk to you, that's a very neutral to good territory to be in. If there's a problem, they feel the need to talk to you about it, the shit hit the bed, Don't fuck with it, like, because their level of politeness is 100% very different. What do you think about if you were to look at? See, it's so interesting because I was just thinking of a movie that I saw based in England where the British actor was super apologetic the whole movie. It was so concerning. But I think that was because he was with a love interest. So is it different when you're with someone you care about? So if you're dating somebody, like, are you extra polite and nice to that one person? And then everybody else, you're just very stoic and you're just there.
Well, as the person you're dating.
Yeah,
are you nice to the person you're dating? Yeah.
Yes. Are you extra polite to them? Make small talk?
Yeah,
because you have something
not everyone,
to gain out of it.
It's not there's something to gain, but there's someone that's special. It's important. You want to be with that person. You want to talk to that person. It's why you're dating them in the first place, right? So it's different then. It's the same when you have like really close friends. We don't just walk around with our friends in pure silence, don't even look at each other. We're talking, we're laughing, we're having a good time. That's normal.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that day for us.
Yeah. It went a long time. But like when it comes to strangers, can't bothered. Cannot be bothered. Yeah.
It's almost like you're conserving energy. Like it's a waste of energy to do that, to think about all of that.
Yeah, because I have
move forward.
I have a limit to my social level. You know, it depletes.
Your social barometer goes to a certain level.
I bounce back and forth between being an introvert and an extrovert. It depends on the circumstances, right? But you got to bear in mind that, but you have some people that are like heavily introverted or heavily extroverted, and that's where they usually stay, right? Whereas me, it's very much sort of swaying back and forth depending on what's going on. But you got to bear in mind that a lot of the work that I do, it is isolated and inside and whatnot. When I'm doing software engineering,
right.
I work with people, work in a team, but a lot of it is still in isolation. We crack on with our different bits and then we regroup later on. So a lot of it is that you're not having to engage with other people. So, and when I'm out and about, like when I've met you and done things with you in wider groups, that will deplete all that I have for the day.
Very quickly, yeah.
It does do it. So it is nice then afterwards to go back home and it's peace and quiet. I can just sit down, relax, put something on TV. Exactly, I'm recharging. I'm doing things just for me at that point. Whereas in other circumstances, I've been in America, for like a whole 3 weeks with other people, and you can't get away from them. You're with them the whole time, and that's difficult because there's no real time to sort of recharge. And I've had people sort of say to me like, "Oh, you're spending time in your room, being very sociable." It's like, yeah, because I'm wanting to get away for a bit. I want some me time. I want some space. I spent the whole day with you, having a good laugh, but I need to have some time where I can just be with me. Amongst my thoughts.
So that's why it's in my professional contract that I get my own room and my own space.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. I need that too.
Just can't. I can't do that all. I can't be on all the time myself either. However, what really pisses me off and what I'm looking forward to most about going to the UK is to never hear the fake customer service voice. The whole trip. The whole trip, I am hoping never to hear that. Is that a thing there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You won't get it here.
Up 3 octaves.
Yeah, because they're trying to make an impression because they're reliant on tips. Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't get that here. You'll get people that are borderline ready to commit suicide with their suicide note attached to their chest. It is going to be a striking difference, I think, for you. Yeah, I think a lot of it is. Personally, I do see this. I go to America and I see a lot of people generally more happy, more smiley, more chatty. And I think a lot of it comes down to the weather and the climate.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, because I think it's so much easier to be happy when you have good weather. But when it's miserable as shit here and raining the majority of the time, like this year, we've had 2 weeks pretty much of hot weather. The other 50 has been dire.
That's not an exaggeration. Over there?
No, it really isn't. We had one sort of like mini heat wave. I think it was whilst I was in Las Vegas as well, so I missed it, even though I was in Vegas, so it gives a shit. But I missed the one good week in the UK, and then we had, I think, something else maybe in September this year. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, the rest of it hasn't been like cold constantly, but it hasn't been particularly warm this year. It has been quite overcast the majority of the time. The temperatures have been mid. And it's been quite rainy. Like the past few weeks, it's been chucking it down.
Gotcha.
So it's been particularly bad this year. Yeah.
So let's circle all the way back to Arriva.
Let's circle all the way. What?
Better view for a whole half a second. Got a better view of your ass. The back of your head. I meant.
My ass is not that high up. What am I? Some sort of tall-legged broad? What's going on?
We'll see your ass on Patreon. So
that's OnlyFans, that is.
So
different service.
Where we'll see your feet.
2 feet.
Circling all the way back to Cynthia Riva. I think that's your name.
Oh yes, we're talking about her.
Cynthia. Yeah. We're going back. All right. So if you were in her shoes, would you have even bothered to say anything as a true Brit? If it bothered you, no matter what it was, like some fan put out a piece of artwork about you, this podcast, people put like stuff a tea bag up your ass. Would you even bother saying anything? Would you feel the need to say something?
I think if it bothered me, yes, I'm guessing there would be somewhere where I would have had a rant. But this is the thing. The reality is, it wouldn't have bothered me because I am not sensitive and I don't give a shit. I just do not give a shit. But if something did bother me on that incredibly rare chance that it does, then yes, I guess I would be somewhere, maybe here, having a rant and calling out the bullshit. But it's things like that aren't going to bother me. It's a poster, for goodness sake. Like, just go get yourself some fucking chicken and be done with it. Have a good meal. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I can't tell how serious you were being, if that was ironic or not. So we're just going to pass right by that one. And say, if you want to hear about our shitting ourselves stories, sign up for our Patreon. And I want to say thank you for everybody for listening to this episode of Social Etiquette. Let me know down below how long it takes for your social battery to just drain. What drains your social battery the most? Thank you for listening and or watching. You obviously can find all of our podcasts on anywhere you can stream or download podcasts, as well as YouTube, where all these wonderful people out there get to see this Brit's wonderful, wonderful face and the back of his head. And if by the time this comes out there is an OnlyFans, we'll just link it down there so you can see that Brit's ass. Paper white ass. All right. Well, Thank you again so much for listening and watching. We will see you very, very soon. I'm Dwayne, and this is
Matthew. Bye for now.
Bye.